Yes, I am live now. Welcome once again to another new video. This is Santosh Sahu and you are watching Sahu's tutorial. And in this YouTube video, I will be covering some important MCQ question on English literature for the upcoming CUET PG English literature exam. This is the part 21 and you know that I am conducting 1000 mock test series for the upcoming CUET PG English literature exam. In the previous 20 videos, I have discussed 810 important MCQ questions along with explanation. And in this YouTube video, I will be also covering another 50 important MCQ questions along with explanation. So please do join and let me know if everything is okay. But I think that I am audible and visible to all of you. Please do join and watch this session till the end because it is going to be a very fruitful session. It is going to be a very important session and I'm assuring you that you will get to know many things, and this video will also be based on some important pseudonym of English authors. So do join, and those who have not joined yet, you can join it later. You can watch this video later. So I think everything is okay. So let's get started. But before starting the session, this is my humble request to all of you. Please do join and subscribe the channel and make sure to subscribe the channel. Okay. And tap the bell icon to get more notification that I will upload in future. So here is your first question on your screen. Please do join and let's answer in the comment box. So the first question is today that which of the following begins with these words that good morning to the day and next my gold open the shrine that I may see my set. The opening line, the famous line of the play, good morning to the day and next my gold open the shrine that I may see my set. So these are the lines from the poetess Cynthia's Rebels, Volponi, none of these. So do answer in the comment box. And these lines appear in Volponi. Volponi is the right answer. And Volponi was written by whom? Volponi was written by Ben Jonson. And what do you mean? What do you mean by the word Volponi? Volponi here means the sly fox. The sly fox. The sly fox. Okay, the Volponi is a play written by Ben Jonson. Moving on to question number 812. The theatres were reopened in 1660. So 1660 is the starting point of restoration period. Monarchy was restored in 1660. What happened? Monarchy was restored. Monarchy was restored. Okay. And it is the starting point of restoration period. Restoration of monarchy. Restoration of monarchy. So theatres were reopened in 1660. When were they closed last? So you have to say, okay, when the theatre were closed. 1616, 1642, 1650, 1652. So it was in 1642. In 1642, during the Civil War, theatres were closed by Oliver Cromwell and it reopened in 1660 when Charles II came again into the throne and it was called as restoration of monarchy and the restoration period begins thus. And here is the explanation that in 1642, a civil war broke out in England between supporters of King Charles I and the parliamentaries led by Oliver Cromwell. Theatres were closed to prevent public disorder and it remained closed for 18 years, causing considerable hardship for professional theatre performers, managers and writers. But in 1660, after the English Restoration brought King Charles II to effective power in England, the theatrical ban was lifted. So the ban was lifted in 1660 under a new licensing system. Two London theatres with royal patents were opened, the King's Company and Duke's Company. Next question. Which of the following Chaucer's tale? Dr. Chaucer's tale is in prose. So which of the following Chaucer's tale is in prose? इसमें से कौन सा चौसर का टेल जो कि प्रोज में लिखा गया था? The Parlour's Tale, the Cook's Tale, the Parrot's Tale, or the Parson's Tale. So yeah, the tale that was written in prose by Chaucer was The Parson's Tale. The Parson's Tale is the right answer. That was written in prose by Geoffrey Chaucer. Okay, moving on to question number 814. The next question here, that is Don Juan. Don Juan written by Lord Byron. Don Juan, that was written by Lord Byron. Each specimen of a heroic play, epic satire, epic narrative, romantic poem. So Don Juan, and this is the magnum opus work by Lord Byron, and this was written by Lord Byron, and it is actually an epic satire. It is an epic satire. B is the right answer. Next question. The first folio edition of Shakespeare's plays was printed in Shakespeare का plays the first folio कब printed हुआ था? Now your options are 1616, 1660, 1623. Now, so the first folio edition of Shakespeare's plays was printed in 1623. So 1623 is the right option. Please like the session and share with your friends. Okay. Next question. Look Back in Anger. Look Back in Anger, that was written by who? Look Back in Anger was written by John Osborne. किसने लिखा है? John Osborne ने लिखा है. John Osborne has written Look Back in Anger, and it was performed in which year? 1955, 1956, 1957, 1958. So John Osborne's Look Back in Anger, it was performed in the year 1956. B is the right answer, and it is actually a kitchen sink drama. It is actually a kitchen sink drama. So Look Back in Anger is a kitchen sink drama. It is an example of kitchen sink drama written by John Osborne, and that was performed in 1956. Moving on to question number 817. Who said that a thought to Donne was an experience? Who said that a thought to John Donne was an experience and it modified his sensibility? Now your options are F.R. Leavitt, T.S. Eliot, Samuel Johnson, I.A. Richards. कौन बोला था? A thought to Donne was an experience and it modified his sensibility. So these lines were actually spoken by Thomas Stern Eliot. Thomas Stern Eliot ने बोला था, that is T.S. Eliot. T.S. Eliot has said that a thought to Donne was an experience and it modified his sensibility. Next question. The Great Tradition was written by which writer? G. Wilson Knight, T.S. Eliot, F.R. Leavitt, Alan Tate. So the Great Tradition was written by F.R. Leavitt. F.R. Leavitt is the right answer, and F.R. Leavitt has written the Great Tradition. Next question. Rave of the Lock. Rave of the Lock. This is the famous poem that was written by here Alexander Pope. Contains how many cantos? So Rave of the Lock contains 2 cantos, 3 cantos, 4, 5. Rave of the Lock has 5 cantos, and the first edition came in 1712 with 2 cantos, then 1714 with 5 cantos, and the last edition came in 1717 with 5 cantos plus Clarissa's speech. It was Clarissa's speech. What? Clarissa's speech was included in the 1717 version. So the last edition that was published in 1717, Clarissa's speech was included. So in which version the Clarissa's speech was included? It was in the 3rd edition, that is 1717. So the first, it was published in 1712 with 2 cantos, and then 1714 with 5 cantos, and in 1717 5 cantos plus Clarissa's speech was included in 1717. And here is the explanation, that is a burlesque. It is an example of high burlesque, that is more heroic narrative poem Rave of the Lock by Alexander Pope. Alexander Pope ने लिखा है Rave of the Lock. It's a more heroic narrative poem and it's a high burlesque example. In 1712, it published with 2 cantos with 334 lines, and in 1714, it came with 5 cantos, and in 1717, the poem appeared in 1717, the final form, with the additions of Clarissa's speech on good humor. So Clarissa's speech was included in the 3rd edition that published in 1717. Next question. Romeo and Juliet. Romeo and Juliet is based on the story by which Italian author? Romeo and Juliet is based on the story by which Italian author? Now your options are Bandello, Virgil, Johnstown, Harriet Beecherstown. So Romeo and Juliet is based on the story by the Italian author named Bandello. Bandello is the right option. And Shakespeare was inspired by the work of Italian author, that is Bandello. Next question. Which of the following books has been called the true prologue to Renaissance? The true prologue of Renaissance and the first modern monument of socialism. So इसमें से कौन सा बुक जो कि ट्रू प्रोलॉग ऑफ रेनेसां होता है उसको बोला जाता है एंड द फर्स्ट मॉडर्न मोन्यूमेंट ऑफ सोशलिज्म? आपका ऑप्शंस है यूटोपिया, द स्कूल मास्टर, न्यू एटलांटिस, आर्केडिया. So here it is Utopia. Thomas Moore Utopia. So who has written Utopia? It was Thomas Moore. Thomas Moore ने लिखा है Utopia and it was first published. It was first published in Latin. It was first published in Latin in 1516 and then came in 1551. That was published in English. It was translated into English by Ralph Robinson in 1551. So Utopia is the true prologue of Renaissance and the first modern monument of socialism. As a writer of sonnets, Sir Philip Sidney was influenced by Montaigne, Petrarch, Aristotle, none of those. So the writer of sonnets, Sir Philip Sidney, was influenced by, it was Petrarch. Petrarch has influenced Sir Philip Sidney. Sir Philip Sidney was heavily influenced by the works of Petrarch. So Petrarch is the right answer. A reed second by the wind. A reed second by the wind. A reed second by the wind is written by W. Jordan, Tim May, T.S. Eliot, Gavin Maxwell. So a reed second by the wind is written by Gavin Maxwell. Gavin Maxwell ने लिखा है a reed second by the wind. So D is the answer here. Gavin Maxwell has written a reed second by the wind. Okay. Next question. Literature always anticipates life. Literature always anticipates life. It doesn't copy it but molds it to its purpose. So this is the line that literature always anticipates life. It does not copy it but molds it to its purpose. These lines are spoken by Oscar Wilde, Ezra Pound, Coleridge, Aristotle. So these lines were actually spoken by Oscar Wilde. किसने बोला था? Oscar Wilde ने एक बार बोला था कि literature always anticipates life and it does not copy it but it molds it to its purpose. Next question. Who said that I awake one morning and found myself famous? I awake one morning and found myself famous. Who said these lines? So Chaucer, Matthew Arnold, Shakespeare, Byron. It was Byron. Byron ने बोला था. Byron ने बोला था कि I awake one morning and I found myself famous. So this is Byron. Byron is the right answer here. Who wrote under the pseudonym of YY? किसका pseudonym YY था? किसने pseudonym YY से अपना वर्क लिखा था? Was it Bertrand Russell, Jerome K. Jerome, or Jerome Lambda Jerome, Robert Lind, Francis Bacon? So the pseudonym who wrote under the pseudonym of YY? So the pseudonym of Robert Lind was YY. So it was Robert Lind जिसने उसका pseudonym क्या था? YY. So YY was the pseudonym of Robert Lind. So here C is the right answer. Next question. Which, this is important, which English author used the pseudonym Watch? Watch किसका pseudonym था? कौन सा इंग्लिश ऑथर जो कि pseudonym Watch यूज किया था? चार्ल्स डिकेंस, J.K. Rowling, जॉर्ज ऑरवेल, जेन ऑस्टेन. So it was Charles Dickens. Charles Dickens' pseudonym was Watch. Charles Dickens' pseudonym was Watch. Next question. Which English author used the pseudonym Currer Bell? Currer Bell is the pseudonym of which English author? Charles Dickens' name. Emily Bronte, George Eliot, name. Charlotte Bronte. So it is Charlotte Bronte. The pseudonym of Charlotte Bronte is Currer Bell. And how will you remember it? That look at here, that Currer Bell, Currer, R-R-E-R, okay? Currer Bell. The first letter is C and here it is also B. Here the first letter is C and it is the first letter is B. So C, that is Charlotte Bronte, and B that is Bronte, C for Charlotte and B for Bronte. So you can remember this by using this trick that Curable is the pseudonym of Charlotte Bronte. Next question. Under what pseudonym did Mary Ann Evans write her novels? Under what pseudonym? Under what pseudonym did Mary Ann Evans write her novels? Lewis Carroll, George Eliot, Agatha Christie, Virginia Woolf. So the pseudonym that Mary Ann Evans write her novels is George Eliot. George Eliot. So under what pseudonym did Mary Ann Evans? Mary Ann Evans ne George Eliot. George Eliot, it was the pseudonym of Mary Ann Evans. So George Eliot is the right answer. D is the right answer. Next question. Who wrote under the pseudonym Robert Galbraith? The pseudonym Robert Galbraith is Kaka. J.K. Rowling, Roald Dahl, Arthur Conan Doyle, and then Ian Fleming. So yeah, this is very important questions. J.K. Rowling का pseudonym क्या था? Robert Galbraith था. And J.K. Rowling क्या लिखा है? हैरी पॉटर सीरीज लिखा है. Who wrote the Harry Potter series? It is J.K. Rowling. J.K. Rowling has written the Harry Potter series, and the pseudonym was Robert Galbraith. Galbraith. What was the pseudonym of Eric Blair? What was the pseudonym of Eric Blair, the author of 1984? 1984 is actually, I'm telling you that it is a dystopia. Try to remember this fact that 1984 is a novel written by George Orwell, and it was published in 1949. It was published in 1949, and 1984 is actually a dystopian social dystopian novel written by George Orwell. It came in 1949. So Eric Blair is the pseudonym of George Eliot, George Orwell, George Bernard Shaw, George R.R. Martin. So Eric Blair is the pseudonym of George Orwell. George Orwell का pseudonym क्या था? Eric Blair था. And जिसने क्या लिखा है? 1984 एक novel लिखा है. That is actually a dystopian novel, and that novel came in 1949. And here Winston Smith is the main protagonist. Winston is the main protagonist of this 1984. Next question. Under what pseudonym did Mary Westmacott? Under what pseudonym did Mary Westmacott write her novels? Agatha Christie, Virginia Woolf, Daphne du Maurier, or Charlotte Bronte? So it was Agatha Christie. Agatha Christie is the right answer. Under what pseudonym did Mary Westmacott? So Agatha Christie का original name क्या था? Mary Westmacott, and it's and her that is the pseudonym was Agatha Christie. So A is the right answer. Next question. Which English author used the pen name that is Alice Bell? Alice Bell is the pen name of the pseudonym. Emily Bronte, Jane Austen, Virginia Woolf, Charlotte Bronte. इसको भी कैसे याद रखना है? That is Alice Bell, E-L-L-I-S, Alice Bell. Again, it starts with E, so E stands for Emily, E stands for Emily, and here B stands for Bronte. This is how we can remember. So Alice Bell is the here Alice Bell. The author used the pen name Alice Bell. It is of Emily Bronte. So Emily Bronte is the next question. The Chronicles of Narnia. The Chronicles of Narnia is a series of 7 high fantasy novels. So it is a series of 7 high fantasy novels. The Chronicles of Narnia. Who wrote this? C.S. Lewis, Jane Austen, Virginia Woolf, Charlotte Bronte. किसने लिखा है? It was written by C.S. Lewis. C.S. Lewis ने लिखा है The Chronicles of Narnia, which is a collection of 7 high fantasy novels. Next question. Who wrote under the pseudonym Acton Bell? Acton Bell. Who wrote under the pseudonym? इसका pseudonym था Acton Bell. Again, Charlotte Bronte, Emily Bronte, Annie Bronte, Jane Austen. So it is again Annie Bronte. Annie Bronte का pseudonym क्या था? That is Acton Bell. Again Acton Bell. That is Acton Bell. So A stands for here Annie Bronte, and here Bell stands for Bronte. Again the same tree. Acton Bell is the pseudonym of Annie Bronte. Next question. Next question. Under what pseudonym did Samuel Clemens write his novels? So under what, this is the original name, Samuel Clemens, right? And what is the pseudonym of Samuel Clemens? J.R. Tolkien, right? Mark Twain, Lewis Carroll, Virginia Woolf. So it is Mark Twain. Mark Twain is the right answer. Samuel Clemens का pseudonym क्या था? Mark Twain. Next question. Moving on to question number 837. Who wrote under the pseudonym called Lewis Carroll? Lewis Carroll. Okay. Samuel Clemens, C.S. Lewis, Eric Blair, and Charles Lutwidge Dawson. So Lewis Carroll pseudonym किसका था? Here it is Charles Lutwidge Dawson. It was the original name, and she wrote under the pseudonym Lewis Carroll. So Lewis Carroll is the D is the right answer. Charles Lutwidge Dawson. Next question. What was the pseudonym of the author? That is Alice Wonders. What is the pseudonym of the author of Alice Adventures in Wonderland? Alice Adventure in Wonderland. Samuel Clemens, Lewis Carroll, Robert Louis Stevenson, Rolla. So it is Lewis Carroll. Lewis Carroll is the right answer. B is the right answer. Next question. Kamala Das, the Indian confessional poet. Kamala Das, the Indian confessional poet, wrote under pseudonym Anita Desai, Janaki Majumdar, Kamala Markandeya, Madhavi Kutti. So Kamala Das ने pseudonym किसमें लिखा है? Madhavi Kutti. So Madhavi Kutti is the pseudonym of Kamala Das, and Kamala Das famous poem is An Introduction. An Introduction is the famous poem written by Kamala Das. Okay, and My Story is Kamala Das autobiography. The My Story, that is My Story, is the autobiography of Kamala Das. Next question. Which Indian English author is known for his novel A Suitable Boy? A Suitable Boy किसने लिखा है? अमिताभ घोष, अरविंद अडिगा, विक्रम सेठ, आर्कनर. किसने लिखा है Suitable Boy? Suitable Boy किसने लिखा है? Suitable Boy विक्रम सेठ ने लिखा है. Vikram Seth has written A Suitable Boy. Next question. Interpreter of melodies. Before that, okay, I am going to inform another information, that interpreter of melodies, for this work, okay, the author was awarded with the prestigious Pulitzer Prize for Fiction. Pulitzer Prize for Fiction. Okay, for this work, the author was awarded with the prestigious Pulitzer Prize for Fiction. Now, Interpreter of Melodies is a book collection of 9 short stories. So, it is a collection of 9 short stories. Who wrote this? Arundhati Roy, Jhumpa Lahiri, Kiran Desai, Amitabh Ghosh. So, it is Jhumpa Lahiri. Jhumpa Lahiri ने लिखा है Interpreter of Melodies, and for this work, she was awarded with this prestigious Pulitzer Prize for Fiction. And it was her first collection of short stories, first collection of books, that is Interpreter of Melodies. She had also written Unaccustomed Art. Unaccustomed Art is another important work written by Jhumpa Lahiri. And even she written the 2 novels, that is the Lowland and Namesake. Another two novels written by Jhumpa Lahiri is Namesake and Lowland. Namesake and Lowland, these are the 2 novels. Lowland. These are the 2 novels written by Jhumpa Lahiri, and Interpreter of Melodies and Unaccustomed Art. This is the short story collection written by Jhumpa Lahiri. Shadowlands is a novel written by which Indian English author? Arundhati Roy लिखा है, Jhumpa Lahiri, अमिताभ घोष, विक्रम सेठ. So it is Amitabh Ghosh. Amitabh Ghosh ने लिखा है क्या? Shadowlands. Shadowlands किसने लिखा है? Amitabh Ghosh ने लिखा है. Next question. Which Indian English author wrote the book The Great Indian Novel? The Great Indian Novel किसने लिखा है? R.K. नारायण लिखा है, सलमान रुश्दी नहीं, शशि थरूर, किरण देसाई. So शशि थरूर ने लिखा है. It was शशि थरूर who wrote the Great Indian English Novel. The Great Indian Novel, that is शशि थरूर. C is the right answer here. Okay. Next question. The Lowland is a novel written by which Indian English author? The Lowland is a novel written by which English author? कौन English author लिखा है Lowland? So Jhumpa Lahiri, Arundhati Roy, Kiran Desai, Amitabh Ghosh, and so Lowland was, I earlier mentioned that Lowland was written by whom? Lowland was written by, it was that is Jhumpa Lahiri, Arundhati Roy, Kiran Desai, Amitabh Bose, it was Jhumpa Lahiri. Jhumpa Lahiri ने लिखा है Lowland. So Lowland was written by Jhumpa Lahiri. Jhumpa Lahiri has written another work. I will mention that namesake. Namesake is another famous novel written by Jhumpa Lahiri. Next question. Who wrote the novel In Custody? In Custody was written by Salman Rushdie, Arundhati Roy, Anita Desai, Anita Nair. So here the novel In Custody was written by who? It was Anita Desai. Anita Desai ने लिखा है the novel In Custody. So C is the right answer. Moving on to question number 846. Which Indian English author won the Nobel Prize in Literature in 1913? It is very easy question. It was R.K. Narayan, Salman Rushdie, Rabindranath Tagore. So in 1913, the first Asian Nobel Prize in Literature was awarded to whom? It was Rabindranath Tagore. C is the right answer here. Next question. A Fine Balance is a novel. A Fine Balance is a novel written by which Indian English author? So A Fine Balance is a novel written by R.K. Narayan, Arvind Adiga, Kiran Desai, Rahita Mistry, and that came in 1995. That came in 1995. So A Fine Balance is a novel that was published in 1995, and it came in 1995, and it was written by whom? It was Rahita Mistry. Rahita Mistry has written the novel A Fine Balance that came in 1995. Next question. Who is the author of the book? Who is the author of the book An Area of Darkness? An Area of Darkness किसने लिखा? An Area of Darkness. दूसरी तो नहीं लिखा है. अरुंधति रॉय ये भी नहीं लिखा है. अमिताभ घोष तो नहीं भी लिखा है. किसने लिखा है? बस भाई ये स्नाइपर. स्नाइपर ने लिखा है क्या? An Area of Darkness that was published in It is published in 1964. So it is a 1964 book, An Area of Darkness, written by V.S. Naipaul. And here is the explanation. You can see that An Area of Darkness is a book written by V.S. Naipaul in 1964. And you can see that it is a traveler. It's a traveler book. A travel book written in Naipaul's trip to India in the early 60s. So his trip to India in early 60s were given in this book. So it was 1964, Area of Darkness by V.S. Naipaul. Next one. The novel Fasting Feasting. The novel Fasting Feasting is written by which Indian English author? किसने लिखा है? अरुंधति रॉय, झुम्पा लाहिरी, अनीता देसाई, किरण देसाई. Again, it was written by Anita Desai. कौन लिखा है? अनीता देसाई ने लिखा है Fasting Feasting. And try to remember this fact that Fasting Feasting has two settings. It has two settings. The first setting is India and the second setting is USA. So the Fasting Feasting, the novel written by Anita Desai, and it has two settings. First setting is India and the second setting is United States. United States is the second setting. So India, Fasting Feasting has two settings, India and United States. That was written by Anita Desai. Next question. Which Indian English author wrote the novel Swami and Friends? That is very easy question. R.K. Narayan, Radhika, here से सबको पता है. That is R.K. Narayan. R.K. Narayan ने लिखा है Swami and Friends. Moving on to question number 851. And here is your question number 851. That the great derangement, climate change and the unthinkable. The great derangement and climate change and the unthinkable is a book by which Indian English author? On Indian English author लिखा है The Great Derangement, Climate Change and Unthinkable. अरुंधति रॉय, झुम्पा लाहिरी, अमिताभ घोष, किरण देसाई. किरण देसाई तो नहीं लिखा है, झुम्पा लाहिरी भी नहीं लिखा है, अरुंधति रॉय भी नहीं लिखा है. अब किसने लिखा है? अमिताभ घोष. अमिताभ घोष ने लिखा है The Great Derangement, Climate Change and the Unthinkable. And this novel was published in 2008. This novel was published in 2008. This is a 2008 novel, The Great Derangement and Climate Change and the Unthinkable by Amitabh Ghosh. And the next slide here, the explanation of this. Sorry, yeah. Yes. Okay. Sorry to say that it was not 2008. It was not 2008 actually. Okay. Next question. Who is the author of the novel Such a Long Journey? Such a Long Journey was published in Arundhati Roy, Salman Rushdie, Kiran Desai, Rahit and Mystery. Such a Long Journey, this novel, this is the first novel written by Rahit and Mystery that came in 1991. Such a Long Journey came in 1991. And A Fine Balance was another novel written by Rahit and Mystery, and that was came in 1995. So Such a Long Journey is a novel written by Rahit Mystery. Rahit Mystery's का first novel क्या है? The Long Journey. And what is the second novel? That is a Fine Balance. A Fine Balance is the second novel, and that came in 1995. 1995 is the next question. The Palace of Illusions. The Palace of Illusion is a novel written by which Indian English author? कौन सा English author? Indian English author लिखा था Palace of Illusion. And you know that Palace of Illusion is the retelling of Mahabharata from the perspective of Draupadi. It is a retelling of the Indian epic, the Mahabharata. It is a Mahabharata. And it is the viewpoint, the perspective of Draupadi. It was told from the perspective of Draupadi. किसने लिखा है The Palace of Illusion? अरुंधति रॉय तो नहीं लिखा है, झुम्पा लाहिड़ी नहीं लिखा है, किरण देसाई नहीं लिखा है, तब कौन लिखा है? It was written by चित्रा बनर्जी देवकरणी. चित्रा बनर्जी देवकरणी has written The Palace of Illusion, which is a retelling of the great epic, that is Mahabharata, from the perspective of Draupadi, from the viewpoints of Draupadi. So here Chitra Banerjee Devakaruni is the right answer, who has written The Palace of Illusions. And here is the explanation. Its subtitle is a novel. This is actually a 2008 novel. The Palace of Illusion is a 2008 novel written by Chitra Banerjee Devakaruni, published by Double A. And you know that novel is a rendition of the Hindu epic Mahabharata, as told from Draupadi's viewpoint, from Draupadi's perspective, namely that of a woman living in a patriarchal world. Next question. Who wrote the novel Train to Pakistan? Train to Pakistan novel किसने लिखा है? पहले भी इस क्वेश्चन को हम डिस्कस किए. R.K. Narayan, Salman Rushdie, Amitabh Ghosh. Very easy question. The Train to Pakistan was written by Khushbant Singh. Khushbant Singh ने लिखा है Train to Pakistan, and it has 4 parts. Train to Pakistan has 4 parts, and it has the fictional setting Manu Majra. Manu Majra is the fictional setting of this novel Train to Pakistan, written by Khushbant Singh, which has 4 parts. And here is the explanation that it's a historical novel by Khushbant Singh that came in 1956. So Train to Pakistan का published हुआ था, it was published in 1956. किसने लिखा है? Khushbant Singh लिखा है. कितना parts है? 4 parts है. ठीक है? 4 parts, 1956 और historical novel. And it is actually recounts the partition of India in August 1947 through the perspective of Manu Majra, a fictional border village. So the appearance of a fictional border village called Manu Majra can be found in the novel Train to Pakistan that was written by Khushbant Singh, and it has 4 parts, and this novel came in 1956 written by Khushbant Singh having 4 parts. Remember all these things. Next question. Now you have to say that which Indian English author wrote the novel English August? The name of the novel is English August. किसने लिखा है? उपमन्यु चटर्जी, विक्रम सेठ, किरण देसाई, अमिताभ घोष. English August was written by उपमन्यु चटर्जी. किसने लिखा है? उपमन्यु चटर्जी ने लिखा है the novel English August. The novel English August was written by the novelist उपमन्यु चटर्जी. So here is the answer. And the next question here, yeah. The Romantics is a novel. The Romantics is a novel written by which Indian English author? Indian English author who has written the novel The Romantics. Okay. Arundhati Roy, Pankaj Mishra, Kiran Desai, Amitabh Ghosh. So Romantic is a novel. The Romantics is a novel written by किसने लिखा है? It was written by Pankaj Mishra. Pankaj Mishra ने लिखा है The Romantics, and this is a debut novel. The Romantics is the debut novel of Pankaj Mishra. Pankaj Mishra का debut novel क्या है? The Romantics, and here is the explanation that Romantics is a 1999 debut novel of Pankaj Mishra. He has also written another novels like Butter Chicken in Ludhiana, that is travels in small town India, that came in 1995, and an end of suffering to the Buddha in the world 2004, and temptations of the West, how to be modern in India, Pakistan and beyond. These are all novels, these are all work written by Pankaj Mishra. Next question. Who is the author of the book The Ministry of Utmost Happiness? Who is the author of the book The Ministry of Utmost Happiness? Now, here it was written by Arundhati Roy, Jhumpa Lahiri, Kiran Desai, Salman Rushdie. इसने लिखा है The Ministry of Utmost Happiness. इसने क्या लिखा है? The God of Small Things लिखा है. The God of Small Things was also written by that novelist. It is none other than Arundhati Roy. Arundhati Roy ने लिखा है क्या? The Ministry of Utmost Happiness. She has also authored the book The God of Small Things, written by Arundhati Roy. Moving on to question number 858. The novel Heat and Dust. The novel Heat and Dust is written by which Indian English author? कौन Indian English author लिखा है Heat and Dust? आर.के. नारायण तो नहीं लिखा है, अरुंधति रॉय वो भी नहीं लिखा है, किरण देसाई ये भी नहीं लिखा है, तो कौन लिखा है? It was written by Ruth Parwar Jha. Ruth Parwar Jha has written the novel Heat and Dust, and it came in 1975. So sorry, it for this work actually, for this work Ruth Parwar Jha was awarded with the prestigious, that is, Booker Prize in 1975. So she got the Booker Prize. The Booker Prize in 1975 for this work. For which work? For Heat and Dust. Who wrote this? Ruth Parwar Jha. Next question. Sorry, here is explained. The Heat and Dust is a novel by Ruth Parwar Jha that won the Booker Prize in 1975. Next question, 859. Who wrote, that is, the novel Serious Men? The novel Serious Men इसने लिखा है अरविंद अडिगा तो नहीं लिखा. अरविंद ने क्या लिखा? The White Tiger. The White Tiger is the famous novel by झुम्पा लाहिड़ी. क्या लिखा है? नेमसेक लिखा है. नेमसेक. और क्या लिखा है? लोलैंड लिखा है. और क्या लिखा है? Unaccustomed Art or the Interpreter of Melodies. Interpreter of Melodies and Unaccustomed Art. So these are four works written by Jhumpa Lahiri. Namesake, Lowland, these are two novels. The Interpreter of Melodies is the short story collection, and Unaccustomed Art, these are short story collection. These are four works written by Jhumpa Lahiri, and for this work, the Interpreter of Melodies, Jhumpa Lahiri was awarded with the prestigious Pulitzer Prize for Fiction. And Kiran Desai क्या लिखा है? The Inheritance of Loss, हल्ला बोलो in Buhaba Orchard, and the Inheritance of Loss. These are two novels written by Kiran Desai. But here, Serious Men was written by whom? It was Manu Joseph. Manu Joseph ने लिखा है क्या? Serious Men. Serious Men was written by Manu Joseph, who is actually a journalist, and it came in 2010. Serious Men is a 2010 drama fiction novel written by the journalist Manu Joseph, and it follows the story of Iron Money, a middle aged Dalit working as an assistant to a Brahmin astronomer at the Institute of Theory and Research in Mumbai. So Serious Men is a 2010 drama fiction novel by the journalist called Manu Joseph, and it is this novel follows the story of Iron Money, a middle-aged Dalit working as an assistant to a Brahmin astronomer at the Institute of Theory and Research in Mumbai. Manu Joseph has written Serious Men. Next question, and today's last question probably. The Hungry Tide. The Hungry Tide is a novel written by which Indian English author? Hungry Tide किसने लिखा है? अरुंधति रॉय, झुम्पा लाहिड़ी, किरण देसाई, अमिताभ घोष. So it was Amitabh Ghosh. Amitabh Ghosh has written The Hungry Tide, and this novel sets in Sundarban. This novel sets in Sundarban. Sundarban is the setting of Amitabh Ghosh novel Hungry Tide, and Piali Roy is the main protagonist of this. Piali Roy is the main protagonist of the novel Hungry Tide that has the setting of Sundarban. And here is the explanation that the Hungry Tide is a fourth novel by Indian-born author Amitabh Ghosh. It's set in Sundarbans. It follows an unlikely trio who travel up river together to find a rare dolphin. So they were searching for dolphin in the region of Sundarban. And who is the main protagonist? Piali Roy. Piali Roy is the main character, the main protagonist of the novel Hungry Tide. Is a young marine biologist who is a marine biologist of Bengali Indian descent, but she was trying to identify as stubbornly American. And last and the list, we will discuss another literary movement. It's right here. Okay, we'll discuss the Scottish Chaucerians. Who are the Scottish Chaucerians? Now, who are the Scottish Chaucerians? We'll discuss here who are the Scottish Chaucerians. Okay. Now, English. Sorry, we'll discuss here who are the English Chaucerians. Now, who are English Chaucerians? Who are English Chaucerians? Now, those 15th and 16th century poets who have actually followed the style of Chaucer, they followed the diction of Chaucer in their works. They were heavily influenced by the works of Chaucer. And who were those writers? They were, the first writer is here Thomas Hockley. Thomas Hockley is the first writer who has heavily influenced by the works of English, that is English writer, the father of English poetry, that is Chaucer. The second is John Lydgate. John Lydgate is another one who was heavily influenced by the works of Geoffrey Chaucer. Another one is John Skelton. John Skelton, who is known for his Skelton's meter. And the last one is Stephen Hobbes. Stephen Hobbes is another one who was heavily influenced by the works of English, by the works of Geoffrey Chaucer, and they are collectively known as English Chaucerians. So Thomas Hockley, John Lydgate, John Skelton, Stephen Hobbes, they were known as collectively English Chaucerians. And here is another. Let me take another slide. Let me take another slide here. Who are the Lake School of Poetry? 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 Lake School of Poetry. Okay. Lake School of Poetry. Lake School of Poetry belongs to whom? It is A stands for Sadi. C stands for Coleridge. And Wordsworth is always there. The Wordsworth is always there. So they collectively, Wordsworth is always there. So Sadi, Coleridge and Wordsworth, they belong to Lake School of Poetry. Okay. Lake School of Poetry. Lake School of Poetry, Sadi, Wordsworth, Coleridge and Wordsworth. Okay. So these are all questions that I have discussed along with explanation in this channel. Thank you for having the patience and watching the video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and tap the bell icon to get notification that I will upload in future. And please hit the like button, share your friends, and let's spread the channel with all your friends. Thank you and have a good night.